What is going on, guys? I am Miguel from UCGym.com, bringing you another video today in which we are going to discuss why you need to train your legs. So I have around 7 or 8 reasons as to why you should train your legs, and the reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people don't train their legs because they either find it too difficult, or they're too lazy, or they just don't want to train legs for some odd reason.
Just do it!
Now, training your legs can be very beneficial to you in your other athletic endeavors. So many people tend to just go to the gym to increase their athletic performance, or they want to lose fat, or they want to build muscle, or they want to look good. So through training your legs, you pretty much get all of that. So the first thing on my list as to why you should train legs is you're increasing the efficiency or the quality of your central nervous system. So if you're one of those people who don't train legs and mainly focus on their upper body, training things like their chest, back, shoulders, and arms, and abs, chances are you're not really stimulating the muscles and the nerves in your lower body as well as you are for your upper body. So through this, you're training the nerves to be, or your brain, the central, the core of the nervous system. You're training it to only stimulate the upper body with a limited amount of power. So if you train your lower body, you're increasing the brain's stimulus and delivery of neurons and things like that in order to stimulate the lower body. I'm kind of getting confusing here, but put it this way. You're training your lower body and you're increasing the body's ability to produce neurons and electrons or whatever to stimulate the nerves, to stimulate the muscles to contract. So if you're doing this and you're training your body to output more power in order for you to use the muscles in your lower body, then in turn you're going to increase the power that you're able to put out for your upper body. So you're sort of reviving, or you're increasing the amount of power you're going to be able to exert for any of your other lifts. So just think of it that way. You're training your lower body, you're increasing the body's ability to produce muscle contractions. Next on the list that I have is you're increasing the production of testosterone and HGH. Now, testosterone is sort of the hormone that makes a man, and estrogen is what makes a woman a woman. It's their own hormone with pretty distinct male and female traits. Now, through testosterone and HGH, when you train your legs, you're sort of increasing the body's need to create this hormone or this chemical in your body. HGH stands for human growth hormone, and your body only creates a certain amount of it depending on how much you need, or your genes determining what you're going to be stopped at, or how big you're going to grow, or whatever. If you're training your legs and you didn't really train them before, you're going to increase the amount of testosterone and HGH released because your body realizes that these tissues need to grow through the work that they're being required to do, and they need to produce more of this human growth hormone and more of this testosterone or estrogen if you're a woman, and is increasing this output since you are training a very large muscle group that needs to grow in order to accommodate for the stress you're putting on it. Now, the lower body has very large muscle groups. You have your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your calves. Now, the glutes are considered to be the largest muscle group of the body because of its size and its density. And this is mainly referring to the gluteus maximus. Now, if you look it up anywhere online, you can see that the glutes are the largest muscle on the body. And then pretty close to that would be the quadriceps, and then the hamstrings and the lats or whatever. But the lower body does contain many large muscle groups, and if you aren't really training them, then you're missing out on the body's ability to exert or create more of this hormone that will benefit you in your upper body training. So if you're training your lower body and your body's producing more of this growth hormone, then it's going to reflect on your upper body training, since you are increasing the amount of hormones there are available for your body to grow in your upper body and in your lower body. So just think of it that way. Now, third reason, muscle building hormones, pretty much the same thing essentially. Fourth reason, fat loss. So the reason you burn or you lose fat through training your legs is because you're burning so many calories. Now, calories are pretty much considered to be a unit of energy, and the average person, according to the USDA or FDA, is that you should consume around 2,200 calories, but that's for a person who doesn't really, that's just for the average person. That's excluding athletes or people with certain conditions or whatever. So when you train your legs, if you haven't trained them before, your legs, like I said, are a very large muscle group. The calories are, like I said, a unit of energy. Now, when you train your legs, you need a lot of energy in order to make them work or make them function or exert a certain amount of force. Now, you're losing fat or you're burning fat when you're doing legs because you're requiring so much energy that your body is creating a amount of work that it hasn't really experienced before, which is kind of similar to cardiovascular training, which is my fifth reason. But when you do legs, like I said, you're burning fat because your body is exerting energy. Now, the muscles are the body's heater, if you will. The muscles generate heat in the body so that when you're cold, your muscles contract or they shiver or they start shaking, and that's because they're trying to generate heat. Now, this heat that it's generating is pretty much similar to burning fat. You are heating up the body and you are requiring a lot of nutrients and electrical stimulus in order to warm up your body and help it, burn that fat. So when you're doing your leg workout and you feel your legs burning, you can also tell that you're sweating a lot, pretty much more so than you would if you were doing cardio, and you're exerting more force than you are with your other body parts. This is getting repetitive, but it is pretty much all tying into the same idea, where when you train your lower body, you're requiring such an immense amount of energy in order to focus on those lifts and complete the lifts that you are requiring so much energy that you are going to be burning fat through that process. So if you take an exercise like squats, for example, now the squat is a entire body workout or entire body exercise with pretty much a main focus on the lower body. So with your quadriceps and your hamstrings and your glutes, those three main muscle groups, they're the main factors when it comes to completing a squat. So these are very large muscle groups and they require a lot of electrical stimulus and energy to contract. Now when you produce or you give the muscles all of that energy and all that stimulus, they are generating an immense amount of heat and they are using a lot of the fat and carbs and protein in your body in order to generate energy for the muscular contraction and in order to complete the lift. So hopefully that makes sense, where you're using a lot of energy and you're burning fat to complete the lift. And then as for the cardiovascular training, like I said, since you are using these very large muscle groups, you have to keep in mind that not only are you stimulating the muscles with the central nervous system, you're also requiring a lot of blood flow to go to this area in order to produce an optimal contraction. So imagine doing legs and you're doing a squat. Now when you do the squat, like I said, you're going to use your glutes, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, and almost every other muscle group in your body in order to maintain stability and tightness and create abdominal pressure in order to maintain your torso upright and complete the lift safely. Now you're delivering an immense amount of blood flow to all the tissues of your body. Now this is pretty much the main reason people do, well, not the main reason, one of the reasons people do cardiovascular training or cardio is to increase their blood flow and their respiratory capacity, where they're able to maintain a steady breathing rate when they're doing any exercise. So when you do legs, if you've never done it before, you're probably going to get tired out pretty quick and you're going to be out of breath after every set. Now when you're doing cardio training, it's going to be the same thing. After you do a couple quarter miles or a mile or however many steps, you are going to start breathing heavily. Now when you do legs, it's the same thing as cardio, where you're delivering a lot of blood to your legs and your entire body essentially, and you're really increasing the blood flow to all of your tissues, and you're increasing the amount of oxygen your body can deliver to all of these tissues as well. So think of it as when you're doing legs, you're delivering large amounts of blood into your muscles at the same time for however many seconds it takes you to complete a rep or a set, compared to cardio training where you're delivering blood very slowly to all of your tissues for a sustained amount of time. So you get it over with pretty quickly when you're doing leg training, and pretty slowly when you're doing cardiovascular training. So depending on which you want to do, you can do legs or cardio in order to burn fat and increase your aerobic capacity. And then for my next reason, increase strength. So this kind of ties in to the increased muscle building hormones like testosterone and HGH. Like I said, since you are producing more of these hormones, you're going to make more progress in all of your lifts, all of your exercises, all of your body parts. You are going to really benefit from doing legs because you are going to get more hormones delivered to your body tissues. You're going to get more stimulus from the central nervous system. You're going to get more blood flow, things like that. So training your legs is really important for not only having a healthy lifestyle, but to benefit your upper body if that's what you're really focused on. And then finally, I have symmetrical physique. Put it this way: you have your upper body and your lower body. If you're only training your upper body, then your lower body is not going to be anywhere close to how your upper body should appear. So with your symmetrical physique, like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, if he's going to grow a half an inch on his biceps, he has to grow half an inch on every other single muscle group. So if he grows half an inch on his bicep, he has to grow half an inch on his legs, his calves, his waist, his chest, on shoulders, everything. So to maintain a symmetrical physique, everything has to be in proportion, looking good. You know, you're not going to look good with skinny legs and a massive upper body. So you have to really put into perspective what it is you want to achieve. If you want to be athletic, depending on the sport, then of course you need to train the designated muscle group. But if you want to look good, then you have to be symmetrical and take into consideration that everything has to tie in together pretty well. So that's pretty much all of the main reasons as to why you should train your legs. Like I said, you increase the stimulus from the central nervous system, you increase the power it can output, you increase the production of testosterone and HGH, also known as muscle building hormones. These will benefit you because you're releasing them throughout your entire body. You're increasing the production. So if you didn't do legs before and your production was at, let's say, 1 milligram per day, if you train legs, you might bump that up to 1.2 milligrams per day. And considering it's a very small amount, it'll make a big difference in your progress for your entire physique. Next is fat loss. Like I said, you're burning more calories, you're increasing the amount of heat your body generates. Cardiovascular training, this can be a substitute for doing cardio. So if you're doing legs once or twice a week, you don't really have to do cardio once or twice a week anymore, considering that training legs does require an immense amount of aerobic and anaerobic capacity in order to achieve the lifts, and it does increase the strength or the ability of your heart to output blood to certain body tissues at a set or at a given amount of time. Next, we have increased strength. Like I said, you're going to be able to increase the amount of hormones exerted or generated through the body, which will benefit your strength gains and your muscle growth. And then finally, symmetrical physique. If you want to have a great looking body, then you really do have to take into consideration that everything does look in proportion and looks as it should. So that's pretty much it. I know it's a touchy subject for some people that don't like training legs. They just say that it's too hard for them, or they don't like doing it, or they're just too focused on their upper body.
Boom, roasted.
But yeah, training legs is very important. Yeah, but if you haven't done legs before and you really want to focus on building strength more than size, then of course you're going to do lower weight with higher weight with lower reps. And then if you want to build more muscle and get more defined legs, then of course you got to do lower weight and higher repetition. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, train your legs. So if you haven't seen my last video, which is sort of a gym fail compilation, I'll have a annotation you can click here. And yeah, so head on over to UCGym.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!